Hi guys, thanks for joining me and watching this video. I wanted to talk a little bit about finding different perspectives, and this channel is called Cleansing Your Body and Soul, and I do talk a lot about nutrition, but internally, when we talk spiritually, this year and what has happened these past few months, the world is really changing people's perspectives. And when we change our perspective, we grow as spiritual beings and as humans. So some things I wanted to talk about here, I have mentioned before in a video I have on this channel called Anxiety, Addiction, Labels, and Intuition. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. I reference some books in there that have really helped me with just beginning those first steps into asking questions, into looking at the world differently, and really finding a way to make things happen, like manifestation, like the world around us is controlled, and asking the questions that will help us live better lives, be better people, and just be happy. So there's two things I want to talk about in this video that will begin the process of your perspective, and they're big ones that I think I've always looked at very carefully, and I ask these questions. So here's the first one. When we look at our government and our world in America, do we ever question, can the government be a corrupt government? Is there a hidden agenda behind the layers that go through the government and beyond? Is there something that we don't know about that happened, that controls us, that has been hidden from the population? Are we being spied on through social media, through applications that we use every day? And honestly, I believe the answer is yes. And here's a perspective that I have when I look at this and I question it. So when you work in an organization, if you are part of employees, sometimes you don't know certain things that happen on a management level. Those managers don't know certain things that happen on an executive level. And then, it goes on, the executives have people, stockholders that are part of the board or whatever, and they know things, obviously, that none of the other employees know, because they make decisions based on an agenda. So why do we think that maybe this whole government couldn't possibly be doing something as nefarious? Why? Because we live in America, because we are told that we need to respect authority and so on, which I understand. There's good in anything that we see and we do, and I think there's good people that force these principles upon all of us, but they are puppets of what is actually being driven from the very top. So even though we don't know what their plan is, we have to know that there are agendas. I'm from El Salvador, and I was born in a very corrupt country, and it's so corrupt that it's blatantly in your face, that if a cop stops you and you give them $20, they will let you go. Now, I don't know if it's that bad right now, but when I lived there, it was. And it's all because money can buy anything. So when they say follow the trail of money, it makes sense. And that money trail will lead you to the person or the group of people making the decisions. And during this whole pandemic and this whole issues of racism and social media, which there's a great reference that I'll put here for you guys, that everything has a benefit to it. There's surveillance because of the fact that they can make predictions on what we like and what we buy in accordance to what we look at on the internet, what we see. You guys have probably been online doing something and an ad pops up on Instagram or Facebook that's something that you thought about or looked at before, and you're like, wow, that's weird. It's not, though. It is all headed that way through surveillance, through social media, through all of this infrastructure. So you have big corporations like Facebook, Instagram, Google, all working together. And now 23andMe and pharmaceutical industry, it's all an agenda. And if we don't see the reasons why they make us be so fearful, then we're missing the point. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be, and I'm not saying there's good people giving us good information about how to take care of ourselves, but I am saying that we need to question things that come up. And so that is the very first and big perspective change that I want to bring up, is a comparison of, what in the real world, how an organization works. The second thing I want to talk about in this video is the biggest thing that I've seen as a topic, and is very sensitive and very hidden, is child abuse, sex trafficking, human trafficking, and all that goes along with it. It is absolutely just unbelievable that if things are, which I believe they're really bad, that we don't know about, why haven't we had some kind of policy in place to prevent this? I question that. The reason is because people want this to happen. There are people that want to brainwash children into whatever mold they want to do with them, into having them do certain things. So the problem is, if we don't take action as parents, this is a cycle that will continue on. And as parents on this issue, I believe that we all need to be made aware of, and let our children be made aware of, and tell them that no one has the right to touch you. And if they do, you need to tell me. Not only that, but there is cruelty in this world, there is evil in this world, and we can't just put a blind eye to it and pretend like it's not going to happen. It's taboo to talk about the Catholic religion, and all of the children they've molested is taboo to talk about those things, or to bring it to light. But that is a continuation of the world that we're living in. And so for us to bring that darkness to the light, we need to talk about it. We need to reinforce that our children will be protected. And so the things like this that make me wonder why we don't have stricter rules around this kind of abuse to children. I mean, there's nothing that I've seen in schools or in law that we as parents can look forward to raising our kids the right way, because they're manipulated by the media, they're manipulated by music industry and all of these things that eventually lead them to a fake world. I mean, it's just about the money and yeah. So that is, another area that you need to question, especially if you're a parent. Why don't we have more material, more advocates, activists to get this world in better shape. And also, if racism is that bad, why aren't we all upset about child abuse and child abduction and all of this that's happening in the world? We're seeing a big change, and this is coming to light, and we will discover so many crazy, unbelievable atrocities in the next year that our world will never be the same. Places and things that are coming our way, sooner than later, we need to make them make us aware of them so that we know how to handle this. Anyways, that is really what I want to talk about. I will leave some links on some of these topics. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. See you next time.